Hi guys, my name is Joanne. Welcome to my channel. If today is your first time here, you are very welcome. In this channel, I post cutting and sewing tutorials. If you're interested in this channel, please click on the subscribe button and don't forget to turn on your notification bell. For my returning subscribers, thank you guys for always coming back to my channel. Today, I am going to show you how to cut and sew this beautiful sleeve you're seeing here. Now, if you're always confused about the making of this type of sleeve, you don't have a problem because I got you covered. And also, if you're into ready to wear, stick around and watch this video because this video is going to be so helpful. So guys, help me subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and also click on the like button and share this video so that others can get to watch. Now let's get into the tutorial. For your shirt pattern, you will need to draft out the sheet code. Now on a plain pattern paper, start out by drafting out the start point line. For me, I'll come here and mark out 1/2 inch as my start point line. So all the measurement I'm going to be taking will be from this line. I'll do the same thing on this part as well. Now all the measurement I'm going to be taking going towards the upper part will be from the start point line. Now from the start point line, mark out 6.75. Do the same thing on this part just to help you get a straight line. And then use a straight rule to connect the 2 points together into a straight line. As we go along, you're going to understand what we are drafting here. Now from the start point line on the center part of the pattern paper, go inward by 2.75. Once you've gone in by 2.75, please make a mark. Confirm the measurements. It has to be 2.75. Now from the 2.75, mark out 1/2 inch. Okay, once you've gotten the 2.75, mark out 1/2 inch from the 2.75 points. I just did that. And then from the 1/2 inch, mark out 1.25. Make a point there. Now on this top part here, you're going to come down by 2 inches. I'll repeat the same thing on this part just to get a straight line. And on here too, I'm going to mark out 2 inches just to get a straight line. Use your straight rule to connect those points into a straight line, just as you've seen me done. Then from the start point line, on this line you just marked out, mark out 2 inches. Repeat the same thing on the top line and connect into a straight line vertically using your straight rule. And then you have something like this. Now that point of 1/2 inch you marked earlier on, you're going to connect it to this part. So you're going to mark out 1/2 inch on this top part. To get a straight line, you're going to repeat the measurement you marked earlier on this down line, which is 2.75, 1/2 inch and 1.25, just to enable you get a straight line, just as you've seen me done here. And then on this line here, come down by 1/2 inch. When connecting your 1/2 inch from this down part, you're not going to connect it all the way to the 2 inches line you have here. Just follow what I am doing, you would eventually understand. And then connect this one like this, square the 1/2 inch up. Have you seen what I just did? And now I'm going to clean out other lines which I am not going to be needing. So if you follow what I just drafted, you would have something like this. Let's go ahead and label each of these measurements. This first one is 2.75. please mark it down. And this second one here, the half inch, I just labeled it as half inch. And now this one here is 1.25. okay, this part here I came up is 2 inches, if you can remember. Okay, just label this as 2 inches. And this one here is 6.75. Now we have something like this. So guys, the thing is, if you're into ready to wear, you would need this sheet code. This works for all sizes. All you need to do is draft it down and use it for all sizes. So after drafting this down, you're going to keep it. It works for all sizes, guys. So after getting all these measurements, once you've measured the down part and this side here, okay, you're going to have 4.075. Just confirming the measurements, it has to be 4.075. And guys, this is it for the sheet code. I'll go ahead and cut out the excess pattern paper. So guys, I'm going to use this to cut on the fabric. This is the fabric I'm going to be using. On the wrong side, please iron out your interlining and then place this sheet code on it. You've seen how I folded this into two, so that is for the right side and for the left side of the sleeve. And when cutting this, please do not add any allowance to it. Just the way I have done, do the same thing. Now after cutting this out, I'm going to put this away and come back to it later. But first, let us work on the sleeve. This is the sleeve I drafted off camera. I have the front and the back. If you do not know how to draft a basic sleeve pattern, please comment on the comment section, okay? So I have a total length of 23 inches and I subtracted 2.5 inches from the 23 inches. That will be for the sleeve curve, which I am about drafting out. Please note that after folding your sleeve and drafting your sleeve circumference around your wrist, extend the measurement by 0.75. I did that off camera. So for the sleeve curve, I'm going to be marking out 2.5 from this down part here. I did the same thing on this part to enable me get a straight line. Then I used my straight rule to connect the point into a straight line. So that is the width, the length of my sleeve curve. 2.5 inches is the length of my sleeve curve. And now I am going ahead to mark out the circumference, which is 8 inches. I did not draft this on fold, okay? So I marked out 8 inches. When I fold this, it will be 4 inches, okay? I hope you understand. To get your wrist circumference, this is how you're going to be measuring it. Please make a fist and then put your tape around it, around the part like this, and take the measurement. What I have was 8 inches. This is the measurement as you've seen. Next, I'm going to mark out 1 inch. 1 inch will be for the overlap and another 1 inch for the button stand. That will give me a total of 10 inches. Now this here is the overlap. I just labeled as the overlap, and this is the button stand. This here is the sleeve curve circumference. Now I'm going to cut out the excess pattern paper. For the sleeve curve, you're going to fold your fabric into two like this, wrong sides facing each other. then iron it properly. And now I am going to place the pattern paper on the fabric, then leaving half inch on both sides. Okay, I'll leave half inch on both sides and on the top part. The half inch is going to be the sewing allowance. I'll leave half inch here and I'll leave half inch on both sides of this pattern paper. I'll use the first sleeve curve to cut the second one. So I have this sleeve curve for both the right and the left sleeve. On this main sleeve, I am going to determine the front armhole and the back armhole. So this here is the front armhole as you've seen, and this is the back armhole. So I'm going to place it right front armhole facing each other, just the way it is. So I would advise you iron out the crease line, okay? Fold this into 2 equal parts and iron it out. That way you will have a crease line because you'll be needing it. So guys, we have the back armhole and the front armhole. What I'm going to be marking here would be the side facing the back armhole. Now on the sleeve circumference, you're going to divide that measurement by 2. The sleeve has to be on fold. Do the same thing on this part. Once you've divided that measurement by 2, make a point there. Possibly you can notch that part, okay? So I'm going to just carefully notch that part. I'll do the same thing for this one here. Now after notching, we're going to proceed to sewing of this sheet code and the sleeve curve. So to have an idea of what we want to do, this is what you're going to be doing. So this is what the sleeve looks like. I made one of it to show you guys so you have an idea of what we're about making. Now let's proceed to sewing this. For your sleeve, once I open this up, I'm going to have the wrong side facing me. Please note all the strategic points. The center line, you made a notch there. You have the 2 points which you divided the center line by 2, and you have the back armhole and the front armhole. Now this sheet code we are going to be sewing will be on the back part of the armhole. Okay, so this is the part which we are going to be sewing the sheet code. From this center point line, I measured to the side. I had 6 inches and I divided 6 inches by 2 to give me 3 inches, which is what I notch. And then for this sheet code, I am going to take out this pin and mark out this half-inch point onto the main fabric. Hope you're following what I'm doing. So take your pencil, or you can possibly make a tiny notch around that part. Mark out half-inch and do the same thing on this top part. I'm going to use my straight rule to connect this point into a straight line. Okay, just like I'm transferring the marking I have on the sheet code onto the fabric. This will help me when I am stitching it to the main sleeve fabric. And then from this point, this top point here, I am going to go down by half-inch, just as what I have on the pattern paper. I'll take my straight rule and connect the 2 points to help me have a straight line. Now I am going to place this. Now I am going to place the right side of this sheet code on the wrong side of the sleeve. Okay, the wrong side of this sheet code will be facing me and the right side will be facing the wrong side of the main sleeve. Have you seen? And now on this half inch point, I am going to make sure it stays exactly on that point I marked on the main sleeve. Okay, from the center point I marked out 3 inches, that is the 6 inches divided by 2. Hope you get. So I placed the half inch on exactly on that point, and I'm going to be sewing this. Now I am going to sew this like this. Just follow through the line you marked out earlier on your fabric, and please ensure your stitches are straight. Once you've gotten to that corner, you're going to leave your needle and turn your fabric this way. Press it down and stitch carefully. Leave your needle again and turn it, and then sew all the way through. So after sewing, you should have something like this. Now I am going to cut through this middle part. Once you've gotten close to the stitch, make a slit like this to the corner and do the same thing on this part so it lays properly. Ensure you notch close to the stitch, but don't notch through your stitch. Now after notching, you're going to turn it over to the right side of the sleeve. Now this is what you should have. I am going to place this very well, possibly use my pin to secure, and then I'm going to head on to the ironing board and iron this properly. So I'll take this and iron this very well. After ironing, this is exactly what I have here. As you've seen, this is looking very neat and it has laid properly. Now you're going to fold this one here like this. When you're folding this, please make sure you fold 0.25 and then refold half inch. This is what you should have. Okay, I'm going to fold 0.25 and then refold it in a way that it lays on the previous stitch you made. Okay, like I am going to be sewing this on that first stitch I made on this line. Go ahead and stitch very close to the edge. So guys, next I'm going to sew this second one. Open it up like this, and from this line here, mark in, come inward by 1 inch. Can as well use 1.25, but I want to stick to this 1 inch. After marking that, I went ahead to use my straight rule to connect this into a straight line, so that this will serve as a guide for me when folding this one. So folding in such a way that at the end of the day you have 1 inch left. Have you seen? So fold it like this, like you're going to fold it this way and refold again in such a way that you have 1 inch left at the end of the day. I'm going to measure this. I'm simply going to refold to make sure I have 1 inch left. That is why when you make that line, it will serve as a guide for you, so that when folding this, you know how to fold this to get the 1 inch. So I have exactly 1 inch here. I proceeded to using my pin to secure. Please guys, make sure you have 1 inch from the top to the bottom of this sheet code. And then I'm going to stitch close to the edge. Stitch it very close to the edge. And now once I get to this point here, I am going to style it the way I want. For me, I am going to just fold in like 0.25 and refold again, just to have something like this. You're going to fold it in such a way that you don't have the rough edges coming out. Then I am going to sew to some extent. Okay, from this top parts, I am going to measure down 2.5 inches. So I'm going to sew it to cover up this rough part. I'm going to sew all the way to this point. Okay, measure down 2.5 inches. It depends on what you have. Okay, just take note of the rough part you have underneath. You should be able to sew and cover up that rough part. So for this sleeve I have 2.5. I am going to take the same measurement here, which is 2.5. Once I got to that point, I left my needle in, and I'm going to be turning like this, and I'll sew close this part up. So guys, after sewing, this is what I have here. I closed that part up, and when I open this up, you will see that it is looking very neat. Now, next thing I'm going to do would be to attach this sleeve cuff to the main sleeve. Now, on your sleeve cuff like this, you're going to take one part and fold in by 1/2 inch. I did that off camera. And then you're going to take the circumference around, but before then, fold your sleeve into 2 equal half like this, into 2 equal parts, and then you're going to stitch by 1/2 inch to some extent. I stitched to this part as you've seen, and I am bringing out the right face now. I'm going to now head on to taking the circumference around this part. After taking that circumference, I had 11.77. Now take note of the circumference and also measure up this one to determine the circumference. For this curve, I had 11 inches. So initially it was 10 inches plus 1/2 inch on both sides, making it 11 inches. Now turn this to the wrong side, okay, right side facing each other, and stitch 1/2 inch. I just did that off camera, and I'm going to bring it to the right side. Now I'm going to measure this again, and I have 10 inches. So I have exhausted the 1/2 inch I used for the sewing allowance. Next, I am going to turn this to the wrong face. And then I am going to be styling this part. So on the sleeve cuff here, on this top part, from the stitch, go inward by 1 inch. And then come down by 0.75. Now you're going to connect the 2 points diagonally like so, and do the same thing on this part. I'll take this to the sewing machine. I'm going to be running a stitch on this point. After stitching, go ahead to cut out the excess fabric. Then turn to the right face. After turning to the right face, you should have something like this. So I have something like this as you've seen here. Now on this sleeve, I am going to turn to the wrong face. Place it this way. To fix your sleeve cuff to your main sleeve, you're going to have to take in some measurements. From this part here, go inward by 0.75. Okay, I just marked out 0.75, and the sleeve circumference we had after taking this measurement was 11.77, remember, and for the sleeve cuff I had 10 inches. So I am going to be pleating the excess so that it fits to the sleeve cuff. Okay, so I have an excess of 1.77. I hope you understand. So I am going to pleat the excess It means that I am going to pleat so that I have a total circumference of 10 inches around the main sleeve, just as I have on the sleeve curve. After pleating, I secure with my pin. I'm going to now measure the circumference. I had more than 10 inches. I had 10.25, so I'm going to replete this so that it is exactly 10 inches. And then I'll measure this up again, and I had 10 inches. So I am going to now go ahead to stitch the sleeve cuff around this part. I'll take this to the machine and stitch down the pleats. So I just stitch down the pleats as you've seen. Next, I'm going to be stitching the cuff. You're going to place the part which you did not fold to the wrong side of the main sleeve. Place it like this and secure with your pin. Now I will take to the sewing machine and stitch by 1/2 inch. After stitching, bring out the right face and close it up. So you're going to push in all the rough edges and then secure with your pin. Now take this to the machine and stitch very close to the edge, like so. After stitching, you're going to make another stitch like this just to style it up, but it is completely optional, and all the way to this part. So I just finished stitching this down. As you've seen, this is looking very neat and beautiful. I'm going to overlock the rough edge, and then I'm going to make a stitch around this part. I'll do that off camera, and please note that it is completely optional. So guys, we have come to the end of this tutorial. As you've seen, the sleeve is looking very beautiful. Create your button and create your buttonhole and fix your button. Thank you so much for watching. If you find this tutorial helpful, please comment in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Also like and share this video so that others can get to see as well. So I am going to take the sleeve and fix around the armhole and close the side. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in my next one.